Umengameli wakulelizwe uthi ziningi izinselele ungqongqoshe wezemali abhekane nazo ngesikhathi ehlanganisa lesabelomali asethule namhlanje.
The minister was faced with a lot of challenges and difficulties of how to balance the budget, particularly in the face of declining revenues, but also not wanting to cut spending and have austerity.
Amaqembu Ombusazwe afaka phakathi ne-DA eyingxenye ye-GNU ayayihlaba ayihlikiza eyokunyuswa kwentela yezimpahla i-VAT.
It's wrong, and we went into this budget putting a very clear position on the table that we were opposed to VAT. We went into the election saying we were opposed to VAT. However, we were willing to look at some compromises, but the compromises were clearly not able to be made from the other side, and therefore we are not in a position to support this budget.
We reject this 0.5 percentage points, which is effectively a 3%. We reject all of this, and we think that this government is not serious. If they were serious, we've been telling them the avenues that they could look at. But because they're afraid of white monopoly capital, they don't want to consider that.
We will not support any form of increase on VAT. We agree that we need to protect SRD. We agree that we need to invest in infrastructure, but let's test the rich. Let the corporate tax be increased. Let there be tax on the wealthy people of South Africa who buy buffaloes for 22 million.
Taxpayers are fed up. They're not getting value for their money. And you can't expect them to pay more tax when we're having renewed power outages, we're having water crises, we're having logistics problems and crises at our municipalities. So our view is don't raise the taxes, rather reduce the wasteful and bloated expenditure.
What we have here is basically a government that would rather suffocate South Africans to an extent of death, because the increase in petrol prices, electricity prices, and now VAT clearly shows that they are trying to suffocate South Africans. So we are not surprised, because clearly this government wants to kill South Africans.
Kodwa-ke amanye amaqembu ayakwesekwa ukunyuswa kwentela.
We supported 0.5 because if we went to borrow that money, it was going to be a burden for many years to our generation. Secondly, more items will be zero rated in terms of VAT, which will cushion the poorest of the poor versus the 0.5.
Yeah, we accept the 0.5 percentage point increase in VAT grudgingly. We do not accept the fact that the minister tables a budget and says this is how we're going to grow the South African economy, but at the same time simultaneously plan for what? An increase again in VAT next year.
Intela ye-VAT izonyuka ngo 0.5% kule minyaka emibili ezayo.